Welcome back to Navigating Baby Loss. It's Jen, and today I am talking to you about finding your purpose after loss. This is something that most of us go through. Most lost moms have definitely gone through this. Whether you say it out loud or not, that feeling that you've lost your way and the life you were building has disappeared. It's no longer there. It's completely gone. And that purpose that guided you, you were going to be such an amazing mom. If you're already a mom, you're going to add to your family. There's just so many hopes and dreams that vanished that day. And you feel like your whole sense of self has disappeared and disappeared your entire future. Everything that you were working toward, everything that you were dreaming about is gone. So I want you to know you're not the only one who's ever looked around at your life, thought, who am I? Who am I anymore? What is my purpose in life? And so today we're going to talk about that feeling and why it's really normal and how you can regain your purpose again in a way that doesn't erase your grief, because I don't believe we ever erase grief, but we can honor it. We can find a way to hold it and honor it. I'll share a little bit of my story today too, because that is what leads me here to you. This is why I do this work, and I'm so honored to walk alongside you on this path. I want you to hear me when I say it makes perfect sense if you feel like your purpose has disappeared from your life after your baby died, because in a lot of ways it has. You were building a life and a future, and it was all wrapped around this baby, whether it was your first baby or your third baby or your eighth baby. This baby was a huge part of your future and your life already before it's born. The minute you see those two blue lines, you are in, or pink lines, I guess, depends. And in an instant, that future, that version of you ended. So, of course, your purpose feels like it's gone because you're not only grieving your baby, but you're grieving who you were, who you wanted to be, who you thought you were going to be. A lot of your dreams shattered, and everything you once cared about doesn't feel right anymore. A lot of my clients go through a job change. They look at their friends and realize, it's just not the same. I can't be friends with these people anymore. Sadly, a lot of relationships end because you are different people. You are different people coming out of this loss, and sometimes you lose your way. You might feel really angry that the things that used to matter so much to you don't anymore. Sometimes that's a blessing. Sometimes the things we cared about were petty and we just didn't realize it until we had this life-changing experience. But all of this is a normal part of grief, for you to feel all of these things. Your purpose, your identity, your direction needs time for you to rebuild them. I know how hard this is. I lost my twins at 32 weeks, twin girls. Everything was perfectly fine on Tuesday, and by Friday they were gone. And I just didn't feel them move. They ruled it a cord accident. And I had two little boys that I had to try to put together a life for and try to be normal. So I shoved that under the rug as much as I could. I got pregnant as soon as possible for another baby. And it was just a really hard time. I battled my emotions. I hid my grief. And years later, it came out. It came out in my health. It came out in my relationships. It came out in my whole life. I really was not dealing with it well. But most of all, I lost myself. I didn't know what I was doing or who I was. I tried so hard to be the person I was before my loss. I tried to be that mom again and that wife. So I got busy. I sewed my kids' clothes. I redecorated my house over and over. I built a business. I got so busy that it drowned out my grief. That was how I dealt with it for a long time until I couldn't. Things were starting to crumble around me. And I didn't recognize the person I was. I just knew I had to keep going. The truth was, I didn't know who I was anymore. People would ask me, "How are you doing? You look like you're doing so great. Looks like everything's going well. And good for you. You had another baby. That's great. Everything's all better now." And I tried to pretend like, yes, it is. It's great. But it wasn't. It wasn't because that part of me that was going to be the twin mom was gone. The part of me that was going to experience all of the amazing things that these little girls I had planned for them in my head during the 7 months I carried them was gone. The person who had picked out the names and had two cribs ready to go was gone. Why did that I would ever be the same? Why did I think that my purpose wouldn't have been shifted in there? But I just didn't know. And no one told me that it was okay. No one told me that it was okay, that I wasn't the same. And so I thought that something was wrong with me. I just kept trying to be her again, but she was gone. I felt like I failed at the most important thing and the most important job. The most important purpose that my life had was to grow these babies and keep them safe. And I failed. And that shame lasted a long time. So it didn't happen all at once. It was a very slow process. It took me getting the right help and learning how to talk better to myself and do some really deep thinking about who am I? What does matter to me? If all of these other things don't matter to me anymore, what does matter to me? What are the things in my life that I want to keep? And what can I let go of? How can I make my life meaningful in a way that would make my girls proud? And stop the busyness for a minute and think about what makes you light on fire. What is something that you've always wanted to do, but you never had the courage? But now that you've survived the worst thing anyone can survive and found that you have more courage than you ever imagined, what could you do with that now? And I have the answer right now. Okay. You don't have to turn this into a big, shiny life purpose, but just start noticing the things around you. What feels meaningful? Even just a teeny bit. What fills you up just a little bit? So I'll ask you a few questions and start the process of thinking. If you were going to revisit your purpose, now that your life is different, because it's never going to be the same. So from this brand new person that you are, what are the things or people that make you feel a little more like yourself, even just for a minute? Who do you like to be around? What are the things that you like to do that feel maybe like the old you a little bit or brings you some joy like you used to have? When do you feel most connected to your baby? Is it at night? Is it in the morning? Is it when you're outside? When are the times that you feel most connected to your baby? Because I would dare to say those are the times that you're feeling more at peace and most like yourself. Is there something that you've gone through that might help someone else someday? Our stories have a similar ending, but they're all so different. My story is about helping people deal with guilt. That was something that I suffered with for so long, and I've found ways to overcome it. That's my sweet spot. That's what I love to help people do, eliminate the guilt and talk nicer to themselves. But what in your story could you help someone do? What tiny spark of curiosity has been in your mind that you maybe didn't dare to do before? You can do anything. And if you could create one small moment of comfort today, what would it be? If you could create something comfortable, easy, carefree, what would it be for you today? Sometimes just thinking about a question in a certain way, hearing it in a certain way, will spark something in you. And that might be the thing that holds the key to you rebuilding your purpose. For me, I loved to talk to other moms who had lost their babies. And that just lit me up because I felt like it was they're the only people who understood me. And when I could be the person who understood them, it just, that's what lights me up. And it doesn't make me happy. I don't want to have to talk to anybody else who lost their baby, but I do all the time. And it fills me up because that I get it and I get it for them. And I know sometimes that's the thing that they need more than anything because these conversations matter, these babies matter, these moms matter. And that's what led me to do this work, to becoming a coach, creating the coaching that I do, creating this podcast, creating the Always Loved Club, not because I wanted to make my pain useful, but I just couldn't stand it that other moms would ever feel like they were alone and have no idea what to do. That became my purpose. So here's what I want you to know. You don't have to start a business. You don't have to write a book or build a foundation or tell your big story publicly on stage. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to be loud about it. Purpose can look like just creating that little shelf in your home that honors your baby's memory, or planting a little garden, or sending a card to another mom who's lost their baby to let her know that you see her. Taking care of your body, that can be a great purpose too. Not because you want to, but because your baby lived inside and it deserves some kindness and care. And your purpose might be just choosing to keep going even when it's hard. That is your purpose. I worked with a client named Rachel, and she was a middle school counselor. She loved working with the kids the way she did, but after her loss, she just couldn't imagine going back. She said to me, I just don't care about it anymore. I don't even know who I am. I don't even want to go there. So we worked on this together for several months. We didn't really focus on finding her purpose. We focused on her feeling safe in her body again. We focused on building rituals that made her feel connected to her baby. And we focused on helping her trust herself again and talk nice to herself. Let go of that guilt. One day she told me she signed up to speak at a grief panel for educators. She said, I don't want to make this my life's work, but I want people to understand how this changes everything. And that's purpose. It doesn't have to be forever. It has to feel right for wherever you are. So if you're in a season where everything feels gray, if you're just going through the motions, if you're keeping yourself busy, if you're beating yourself up with that guilt because nothing feels meaningful, I really want to invite you into my Always Loved Club. It's a brand new membership I just started. We have a private chat. We have a monthly workshop. We have Q&A sessions for postpartum moms and also moms who are pregnant again after loss. You have an unlimited chat. I get in there 3 days a week and drop some golden nuggets to keep you going, to keep you inspired, to keep you going on the right track. And it's an amazing way to connect with so many other moms who are just like you, who have a million questions, but don't really have the people right there to answer them. I hope brought up something for you. Let me know if it did. Maybe it brought up some more questions for you, and that's okay to them. Ask yourself some questions. What do you want your purpose to be going forward? Since you can't change the past, who are you now? Where do you want yourself to go? How can you keep going, keep breathing, keep hoping? So let me know if this conversation resonated for you. You can send me a message on Instagram at Navigating Baby Loss. Check out the Always Loved Club. I would love to have you join. You can join anytime, you can cancel anytime. It's $47 a month, but it is amazing. And it's finally a place where moms can come together in a positive space and get the help they need. So, next time, you're not broken, you're not failing, you are becoming and you are living into your purpose.